So we are the puppies. We just had our 6-week vet appointments for our American Bullies. The Val and Poseidon litter, they did their 6-week check-in. And then Storm Endurance litter had their 8-week check-in. So, excuse me. I wanted to go over while I have a few minutes, headed home, no children, no distractions, about our health papers compared to health certificates. So our health papers are a good check-in, and we go for 6-week vet appointments because it's going to give me a gauge. Every mom is different. They have a different immune system. Like I have some moms that love horse poop, so it's harder to deworm their litters when they are with their puppies. And I'll have more frequent positive hook tests compared to the moms that are very neat, free, clean, don't really leave their puppies, all that good stuff. So I like going in for 6-week health exams, not only for a fecal check, but because it lets me know how each puppy individually is looking. Like if I have an overbite, undescended testicles, if I have a hernia. I mean, things that I can tell on my own, but when it's medically noted, it just helps us make sure that we are going to approach it at their 8-week appointment instead of being accidentally forgotten. So then they're rechecked, right? So there is no mishap. So like, say, like Fallon's litter, their 6-week check-in, I had, because they do, out of the whole litter, they test one fecal. And I had one hook egg in there, and their mom is very much a horse shit eater. So she's hard to deal with. But now that she's completely separated, I don't have to worry about that, and I can get everybody completely dewormed, which we have been. And I do 7 days to clear them out. So with that being said, we did their 6-week check-in. I had my positive, but then it lets me know, like, okay, what I have to work on before their 8-week appointment, or if there's anything negative remarked in any puppy's file, they're all gone over specifically, and it just always lets you know kind of how that puppy is looking at that point, especially before purchase. And that's always posted in our group. And then so I have these guys. It was my CHV litter, and I wanted to know, like, yeah, they are small. They're behind because of what they went through. So I want my vet to be able to be like, okay, Lyric, this is where weak spots, this is where we are, and this is where I would like them to be by this certain time frame. And it goes for any litter, to be honest. So, you know, a lot of breeders, they do 8-week check-ins only, and that used to be us down south because our vet didn't do or see anything before 6 weeks. So I drove 2 hours one way to Dr. Nichols, which is at Covington Veterinary Care in Andalusia, Alabama. He was recommended by another breeder friend of mine up here because, remember, we moved from South Florida to up here, and I didn't have a vet clinic. But another breeder friend of mine absolutely loves him, loves how thorough he is, and the fact that in Alabama, you can get your puppies seen at 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, whatever it may be, where Florida, they'll only let you see them at 8 weeks. So, granted, I'm inside the Florida line, but my vet's in Alabama. So with that being said, everybody passed everything today. Yay! Clear fecals. Everybody looks great. I have one bully puppy with a slight overbite, which, because they went through the CHV, is going to, you know, their growth isn't the same. They are behind. So it can catch up with itself by 8 weeks, and they grow into it. Or being in a pet home, he's just going to have a slight overbite, which is fine. It's not going to impact anything. But it gives me a gauge of, at the 6-week mark, this is what I'm looking at, right? So in these guys, they got their 8-week health papers, which is going to outline, and again, they do a group fecal off of like one litter mate, which is nice because when they're all together, if one has it, they all have it. Everything comes back negative. It's noted on the papers. It's going to give you the general condition of the dog. How are their gums? How is their personalities while they were in there? Were they active and playful? Were they depressed? Were they shy? Whatever it is. And it's so in-depth compared to a Florida health certificate. Because a Florida health certificate is just going to be like, yeah, the dog was fit for sale. But it doesn't, they don't check their temperatures. They don't give you their gum color. It's just a very, very quick overview that it's kind of disheartening that that's what we the time like we get our health papers done, they just have a health paper, and they're going to have 2. They only get their vaccines done at the 8-week mark, and it's going to list exactly what vaccine it is. My techs that typically know me are going to put the puppy's microchip information on there and scan it right there and confirm everything is. And like today I had a tech that really hasn't dealt with me a whole lot, and she didn't write their microchipping on there. So I have to go home and write a microchip on in there, but on their other ones, they had it in there. So that being said, you can always call that vet's office. I don't care. And confirm that puppy matches the puppy's file it matched before, because they have to confirm it too. But it's going to overall just be like, yeah, this puppy has no sign of infection, it's gum color, everything's gone through, everything's circled and identified specifically to that puppy. And the puppies that are opting for health certificates, they have flights. So if your puppy's flying, they have to have a health certificate. Like, I'm going to be anal to a T, you guys. And make sure your puppy has an Alabama state health certificate. I think he can give me one for Florida too. But that's just going to state that puppy is fit for travel more than anything else. But of course, even with our health papers, you know, you still get your same guarantee. You still get the same thing. If something happens, whatever it may be, we handle it. But remember, you got to get your puppies to the vet's office within 72 hours. So that way you know you have purchased a good, healthy puppy. But with that being said, fit for travel, health certificates, and I have to have them knowing I'm getting them at that 8-week appointment. Or if for some reason, say I've already done 8-week appointments and I have a random buyer that's like, hey, I want this puppy, but I need it traveling. And it means I have to go back 2 hours one way for one specific puppy. The cost of the health certificate, you will have to pay for. I don't worry about gas or anything, but you are at that expense of the health certificate, which is going to run you at $50. So I go, I get everything done. Hopefully I would have another puppy going with me to kind of help that out, instead of running back and forth. But I cannot legally get a health certificate on a puppy unless there is a buyer already set in stone with an address and all of that big stuff. So that's why our health papers are really nice too, because some people don't, like, they're local, or they're in Florida, or they're in Georgia, and they just want to drive right over, and they're good with their health certificates, they're good to go. They're not traveling, they're not going by car, or like ground transport, opting for a health certificate, or flying, which you absolutely need a health certificate for. So on that side of things, just remember, like, if you're coming in, we've already done our 8-week exams, and you need a health certificate, the cost is going to be on y'all specifically. So please make sure I have enough notice so I can get it planned with any travel dates and done accordingly if we need the health certificate specifically. Otherwise, your health papers are still going to be the same way. Anything's going to be noted, any remarks are going to be on that paper, and you can confirm any changes to that paper by calling our vet's office and asking them to compare their 6-week to their 8-week. And on like these ones that I'm just posting today, she didn't write in our microchip numbers, but the collar color matches the same paper. The puppies are going to be confirmed via microchip scanner in that vet's office. So they're going to have them listed, and they're going to be able to tell you if there's any changes made. So again, that's with Dr. Nichols at Covington Veterinary Care. I am an open door. Feel free to call. It lets me know that there's security there. Everybody's gone through. Everybody's looked at specifically. Not once at 8 weeks, but twice. So that way there's 2 run-throughs. So that way I'll use him for an example. He has that overbite. Either it's going to be he grows into it, or it's going to be noted on his next paper. He's got an overbite. They're only available as a pet. As long as they don't hurt him for the rest of his life, he's just going to have to be all like, it's not even bad. You can't even hardly tell. But that's just an example. It's going to be noted on his file if it's still accurate and if it's still there. I have a sheepadoodle with a set of undescended testicles on his 6-week exam. But by 8 weeks, they will probably be developed and dropped. us know what each puppy looks like specifically for a sense of security. So, all right, you guys, if anybody needs anything, remember, give